Hi, guys, it's Marlene. Welcome to the Sunday Talk Show. And today we're going to be talking about the inner you. What are you going to be saying to yourself? Are you going to warn? Are you going to discuss? So, before then, guys, I want to shout out all my members. Welcome to all my members that always support me. I appreciate you guys so much. Beverly Black, Boss Life Online. Tony Clopton, Melissa King, My Econ, Van Life with Gina, Edward Smart, Tracy Ocean Fire 777, Be Amazing Sylvia, Marlin Music Channel, Pittsburgh Artist Studio, Pandy's Hair Candy and more, Dunamis Sound Mind Services, Bozo Calvin Jr., Barry Johnson, Time with Tiffy, Thrill Seeks, I Am Tracy Lee, and our newest member, Miss Kim's $5 Bling Bling Emporium. Thank you guys so much for your support. And of course, before we get started, we got to play the best life cruise song. Welcome to the Sunday Talk Show, guys.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Let me turn my camera on. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Sunday Talk Show. I am Marlene, and if you are new to living your best life on this channel, I have positive, motivating, and encouraging topics, story times, travel videos, vlogs, and all kinds of encouragement for your mind, for your heart, and also I have a business interview. So if you are a business, I would love to have you on the show. So, yes, guys, welcome to the Sunday Talk Show. I just want to welcome everybody who is in the chat. Thank you for spending some time with me on this Sunday. So, let's see who is in the chat. First in the chat was Simple Things Outreach Media. Yes, I was on her talk show last week. So if you have not seen that, thank you so much, Simple Things Outreach Media. I enjoyed the discussion. So next in is Boss Life Online. Boss Life Online is a member of my channel. She is also the owner and creator with Time. Why am I going to say Time with Tiffy? No, for Team Build with Geo, which is a playlist buddy membership. So if you're interested in getting playlist buddies, reach out to Geo at Team Build with Geo on Instagram. And we also have a channel together, Information Girls, which is growing, and we talk about YouTube information and much more. So if you are interested in finding out some YouTube information, head on over to our channel. So thank you so much, Boss Life Online. She also said she liked and she shared it. Thank you so much. And next in is one of my super supporters, Tracy Ocean Fire 777. How are you today? Happy Sunday to you and your family. I hope you're doing good today. I welcome you in. Thanks for always supporting me and my channel. So I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Thank you for spending your Sunday precious time with me. It's very much appreciated. So I'm going to put up the topic today. So the topic that I have for you guys today is this: the younger you. What are you going to be saying to yourself? What is the conversation that you would have with yourself if you could talk to yourself way in advance? What warnings would you give yourself? What would you discuss with yourself? What would you teach yourself in advance? So we're going to talk about that today. And I'm really looking forward to this discussion. I'm very excited about it, actually, because I think that it's very important that we cover this topic, because a lot of people don't understand that, especially if you have had some childhood trauma in your life, if you never deal with the things that happened to you as a child, you are always going to be stuck in whatever age you were when that occurred. You got to put in some work to move past that and heal those wounds so that you can start living in your present. That's really important, guys. So, let's see what you guys are saying in the chats. Yes, welcome one another. And Boss Life Online dropped the link to Information Girls. I very much appreciate that, Gio. Thank you very much. Yes, a beautiful day. Nice topic. Thank you so much, Tracy. You guys, I try to bring some topics that, because I do research. I look on the internet and see what are some good topics like, but also it has to be in line with what I think you guys would be interested in hearing as well. So, guys, I just wanted to start off by saying I found this information about this topic from Solancha.com. And it's the title of the topic is Inner Child Healing Practice: 7 Questions to Ask Your Inner Child. So we know that inner child, it is the part of us that no matter how old we are, it's, especially if you have been through some trauma in your life, it allows you to have those conversations. Sometimes when it brings up things to the surface in your life, that inner child comes up and says, I'm afraid, I'm scared, I don't want to do that anymore, I don't like that, they're mean. And it's important to have these conversations with your inner child, no matter what age you are. You're never too old to heal wounds that happens to you from your past. You're never too old, and you're also never too young. So it can go vice versa. If you are playing the role as a parent or a guardian, you can do some of these things to protect children in your life. It's much better to protect than to have to go back and heal wounds, because once something has already been done, it's hard to fix it, but it's possible for you to be able to now learn to cope with some of those wounds. Okay. So let me get right into some of the notes that I wrote down. So, as when you're a child and you go through a series of events in your life and they trigger, some really heavy emotions. And sometimes you can't get your head around what happens to you because of the shock. You think sometimes, did this really happen to me? And you have to force your child's mind or your inner child, and you can get frozen in whatever age you were when you went through a traumatic experience. So say you were 6 years old when something traumatic happened to you as a child, you can stay in that age for the rest of your life and never get past that, because you have never healed from it. You have never got to move past it because it was so traumatic for you and you have never dealt with it. And it's not easy to deal with it. You don't want to deal with it. I'll be honest with you. Traumatic things that has happened to me in my life, I didn't want to deal with it. But there's a lot of things that can happen to you once you make a decision to allow yourself to speak about what happened to you, in hopes that maybe you can help somebody else, but you also help yourself. Okay. So, we don't want to make excuses, because I know that's something that happened a long time ago. The old-fashioned way, when something happened, you just push all the skeletons in the closet, you pretend what happened to you didn't happen, you make excuses for whoever did whatever to you. But no, it's a new chapter in your life, and you stand in today, and we're going to say today, we're going to stand in the present, we're going to walk in truth, we're going to love ourselves. And part of that is owning up to what happened to you, just being transparent, and just say your name, I was so and so when this happened to me. State your personal truth. And you have to do that for yourself. It's not for somebody else. It's not that we excuse the things that other people did to hurt us or harm us. But no, when we speak about things transparently, we allow ourselves to say, I am no longer going to let what happened to me. I'm not going to let a traumatic experience define my entire life. I'm not going to allow whoever did wrong to me to have power over me. I'm taking my power back. And it's very empowering when you do that, when you can stand up for yourself. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation, because we got to talk to our inner child, or we have to play the role of protecting children so that they don't go through something that maybe we went through or other people. Okay. Let me go back to the chat and see what you guys are saying. Hey, Miss Full Roller, how are you? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a great Sunday. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, Boss Life Online. It is so true. It's so true. And it's not something popular. Most people do not want to talk about this topic. People want to gloss over things. People want to make excuses about things that happened to them or the things that people did to them. But that's not what we're going to do in 2021. Going into 2022, we're going to be responsible for our life. We're going to want better for ourselves. We're going to want to continuously portray light, love, light. And that's also part of respecting ourselves. When we respect and we love ourselves, we make different decisions, and we have to make a decision to love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, we say, I'm no longer going to allow this pain to disable me from living, living prosperously, living with joy, and allowing yourself to have your peace of mind. Because a lot of times when we go through traumatic experiences, it takes away our peace of mind. It makes us feel that our peace is gone. And we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to stand in it and speak about what happened to us. No, you don't want to deal with it, Boss Life Online. And that's the thing. Most of us don't want to deal with the things that happen to us because, number one, we have to, number one, face it and say it actually happened to us, which most of us don't want to do. We don't want to admit, that we're tainted, that we're scarred in any way. I don't know why, but most people want to believe like they're perfect, that they have never had hard times. And it's just not reality. All of us go through traumatic experiences, and many of us have gone through traumatic childhood experiences or teenage experiences, something like that. So we have to have these conversations. And also, if you don't handle it, you're going to bring it into your adulthood, and you're also going to bring it into your parenting. Because if you are a little child scarred, you're going to be an adult scarred and put those same fears and project that same negativity onto your children. And we don't want to do that. We want to be mature. We want to have open conversations, because maybe if you were scarred, maybe now you can have the conversations that maybe your parents didn't talk to you about. Maybe your aunts, cousins, siblings. Maybe you didn't get the protection that you wanted, but now you may be able to protect another child just by sharing your story. And I think that that's very important. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Yes. Thank you, Boss Life Online. Yes. How many children keep silent? Yeah. And that's the thing. So many children, they keep silent. I know for me, I kept silent because, my parents never had these conversations. Back in the day, parents didn't talk about sexual abuse. What is a good touch, what is a bad touch, that you don't that we were always taught you had to respect other adults, but what if the adult is doing something that's wrong to you? See, all of those things is important to teach children, maybe you did not receive, but maybe you can be a source of protection for some other parent or some other child. And I think that that's very important. Very, very important. So thank you for your comment, Tracy. Yes, too many Boss Life Online. And on the news, it's always they were abused. Abused people hurt others badly because they don't know what to do with the pain. Yeah, and that's something very important to talk about, because if it's like a volcano about to erupt. If you don't contain and get to the root cause and source of your pain, then of course, hurt people hurt people. So you're mad and you're going to portray that to other people, especially people who don't deserve it, like people who actually love and care for you, like your family, you know. Or it doesn't always have to be your family, but maybe other people in your life that have nothing to do with your trauma. You take it out on them. And also, if you're a parent now and things happen to you as a child, you may be putting those same things that maybe you were trying to run from as a child. So we have to learn healthy ways, that we have to learn to talk with somebody. We have to learn to release and let go. We have to learn to forgive. We have to give room to our fears, when we get abused or we get traumatized by certain experiences as a child. We have to learn to say, this happened to me, and I'm not going to allow it to make me miserable. I'm not going to allow it to keep me down, but I'm going to allow it to make me be teachable, make me stronger, make me more courageous. And that's what I always try to do. And I hope what you guys try to do as well. It's all about growth, personal growth, and teaching and learning. Yes, children are not to blame in their trauma, and it happens all the time. So many children think it's their fault. It's because of me. And especially children who are abused, they are told because they're bad, because they don't listen, because of something. Or a lot of times, maybe it's the adult that was doing the wrong thing. They have some mental issues going on, and that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, a lot of things can make a child think maybe something is wrong with them when it's not them at all. And that can cause you to think a different way in your life that's not good and it's not healthy. But we have to learn that we can't blame ourselves for the trauma. We have to put it in the right place, that whoever did whatever to us, they are the ones to blame. And that gives ourselves a healing, and it makes us feel good about ourselves as well. So that's really important, to put things in perspective. We got to put things in perspective, that when things happen to us, it's them and it's not us. You did not do anything wrong. And I think that's important for those who are adults, those who are positive role models and examples for children, or if they're parents, they tell children if somebody says something to you that you don't like, if somebody touches you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, you need to speak to me, or you need to tell somebody else. And we have to have that kind of dialogue. And it's important to raise children with awareness, like, don't do that. That's wrong. And I'm going to tell. Now, if you just have that kind of conversation, and also as parents, allow your children, to talk to you and tell you things. Because I know for me growing up, I never felt comfortable talking to my parents, because it was always the role, like, I'm the parent. And, I never felt comfortable to tell my parents things, because it felt like I was in a dictatorship, that only the things that they tell me, you do this and you obey and you listen. But it was never like I'm just a child. So we have to let children feel comfortable to be able to come to us and tell things that's going on in their head and their heart, so that they don't carry those wounds for the rest of our life. And that's highly important. Thank you for your comment, Tracy. The soil and environment has to be right in order for the seed of trauma to emerge and to be dealt with properly. Otherwise, the the being is left vulnerable to attack and thus causing more trauma from that. Yeah, it can be trauma on top of trauma because you want to heal from the trauma about whatever happened to you, but you can't heal from that trauma because the person that you're going to talk about the trauma is either blocking it or causing you more pain and hurt, and that's not good. It's not good. Thank you for your comment, Miss Full Roller. It's so true. And may not be recovered from at all. Yeah. Sometimes you can't recover until you are able to um, give yourself the room to say no more. I'm not going to allow myself to be miserable anymore. And it's a conversation that I had with Boss Life Online one day, and she was helping me through a situation, and she told me that you have to talk to your inner child, and you got to tell that inner child, the adult me is okay. The adult me is here, and I'm going to protect you. I know what happened to you in your past. I know what happened to you in your childhood, but now you're an adult. Now it's safe. Now you're okay. Okay. And we have to have that conversation so that we stop trying to make ourselves as an adult feel like things aren't okay when now they are. It's okay. It's okay now. And whatever happened to you, you have to say, inner child, I'm sorry that happened to you, but now you're an adult. Now you can be a voice to somebody else. Now you can be a positive example. You can show somebody who has been through traumatic experiences that you're not alone, that it happened to me as well. And that's how we progress. That's how we can make light out of a dark, dismal situation. And I think that's important. It's all about the progress, and it's about how you look at situations. Either you can choose to look at things in a positive way, or you can look at things in a negative way. True, especially if it is all you were exposed to. Exactly, Tracy. If you were only exposed to the negativity, you were never felt like you could talk about your situation. It's hard for you to be able to expose it. You may not be able to expose it to your parents, but you got to find some place where you can feel safe to express yourself. And for me, the only safe place I felt was when I started going to therapy. Sometimes you got to go to an outside source because sometimes it's in the family that you have that toxic environment. Thanks for your comment, Tracy. Children keep silent because society blames them for the trauma inflicted upon them, many times by the parent, and then tells them to honor these abusive parents. Yes. And another thing that I don't like as well, Miss Full Roller, is that they will because there's many forms of abuse. It's not always just physical. Even the constant berating, telling children that they're stupid, they're ugly, that all of these things, that is a form of abuse as well, and nobody really talks about that type of trauma. It can beat you down for years. It can give you depression, low self-esteem, makes it hard for you to deal with yourself in the outside world because you've always been told that you can't do anything. So sometimes you look at other people and you wonder why they seem so sad, why they are so traumatized by their life, but they never got over what happened to them in the past. And that's why I wanted to have this discussion, that no matter what you have come from, no matter what you have been through, you can have that discussion with your inner self and you can heal those wounds. Not that you will ever forget what happened to you, but now that you can move on. You can move on and you can move forward positively. That I went through this situation and it hurt a lot. It disrupted my life, but now I have empowerment. Now I have self-love. Now I have courage. Maybe that's something that you would not have had if you did not go through that situation. And I think that's very important. Yeah, that is sad when they ask for help and no one steps in to save them. Yeah, it's very heartbreaking. And that's why I say all the time, especially to children, they need to talk to somebody. It doesn't matter who it is, but you need to find somebody that you feel will, there's no judgments. You will feel safe. You can have an open discussion with them. Everybody has to have somebody they feel comfortable talking to. And even past that, not even a child, even as an adult, you may have your hard days. You got to have some people that you can just be yourself with, and just say, I'm not having a good day. I was thinking about my past trauma and I just need someone to vent to. That's important, to have a safe place that you can go to just be free. To, like, sometimes you just want to scream, other times you're just so angry, sometimes you're in denial about what happened to you. But it's okay. It's okay to have conversation. We don't want to do like we used to do in the past, the old fashioned way. Hide everything in the closet, pretend that it didn't happen, or tell lies that, oh, that's just the way somebody is. No, now we're on a different wave of maturity and enlightenment, that we love ourselves enough to face, this is what happened to me. And now I'm going to tell my inner me, my inner child, and also protect future generations from something like this happening, because now we are open, we're transparent, we will talk about things, we're going to be here, we're going to listen. All of that is important, especially to children and even adults. You have to allow people to be able to voice their opinions and their thoughts. Well, I learned that it is okay to be angry at your parents and what they did to you. That is the first step in changing you, so that you don't want to do the same thing to your kids. Then forgiveness, right? You got to speak sometimes, and it's hard to admit sometimes that, your parents, that they did wrong to you. That's a part of your healing, to say, what they did to me, that was not right. That was not right. And while they are my parents, if they are doing things that harm you, you cannot excuse it. Don't excuse what they did. Don't excuse the wrongs that somebody else did to you. But you got to allow yourself to move past that part. This is what happened to me. And then you got to have something that you can replace that with. That's what happened to me, but that is not who I am. And I know sometimes, especially in traumatic experiences, some people think that they are defined by their experience, by what happened to them. I am whatever. I am a person who has been in domestic violence relationship. You kind of get labeled along with what happened to you, but you are not your experience. You're still a man, or you're still a woman, and you have thoughts and feelings, and you have to make that valid, and let people know and understand that you're a human being, and what happened to you is not right. I think that's an important first step. And you got to get it out. You have to have your time where you're angry, you're sad, you got to allow yourself to cry, whatever you need to do to bring yourself peace of mind. That's important for you to have that conversation with yourself, because that's why I wanted to do this discussion. What kind of conversation are you going to have with your inner child? So I just want to say, the first thing, understanding your inner child. We have to understand that we all have an inner child, and that those childlike aspects in our life. However, it becomes a problem when the inner child makes you behave based on your childhood traumatic experiences. For example, you could be struggling with shame, anger, and fear of abandonment, depending on how your parents scolded you or how your peers bullied you. It is your wounded inner child, um, developing coping mechanisms, because without you even knowing it, this is what happened to you. And it's important for you to realize that, this is what happened to you. And it's important for you to go through that stages, acknowledging what happened to you, giving room to that, saying, this is what happened to me, finding someone that you can talk to. You have to be at peace with it. Okay, I don't like what happened to me, but that's what happened to me. And then now the healing part where you say, this is what happened to me, but now I'm a stronger woman. I am a stronger man. I love myself. Now I have gained a self-respect. I've gained self-love. I've gained courage. I can smile now, because the more that you begin to love yourself, you can see that other people do things to you because they never love themselves. And while you don't excuse it, I'm not excusing that some people don't love themselves or that some people have mental illness issues. You have to smile, because would you have learned certain qualities, or you would you have learned to be who you are today if you had not gone through that? you know I You never want some people to, you never want to hurt, you never want somebody else to experience pain, but sometimes pain causes us to transform into an awesome human being because of it. Awesome. And the first question that I say, how do you work with your inner child? Working with your inner child is about locating and healing this wounded child within us. Unlike other healing techniques, the inner child healing practice makes you look at yourself as a child. You take up a parent role and correct misconceptions and unresolved issues that interfere with your lifestyle decisions to date. So it's important, this question. Number one, how do you work with your inner child? You have to go back, find healing techniques, practice them so that you don't make the same mistakes because of unresolved issues. And it can interfere with your life right now. Are you angry because of what they did to you? Are you angry today? You gotta heal from that so that you can have peace of mind today, that you can have courage, that you can have strength, that you can have willpower. All of that is about changing the negative to a positive. And it's not easy. It's not easy to act. It's not acting like it didn't happen to you, but it's about empowering yourself and knowing that you are stronger today than you were as a child, because you have grown, you have gained personal growth. And that's remarkable. That's amazing. And you should celebrate that and be proud of yourself. I got to get to these comments because I've been talking too much. Okay. It takes an enormous amount of courage to get healed and go against the grain. Unfortunately, calling a spade is seen as disrespectful. I know, I understand that, Miss Florola. Yeah, it happens to everybody. People don't like when somebody goes against the societal norm, especially if those people are going to gain something, because especially if somebody is somebody in the community or it's a family member, they want to save face. They don't want to say what actually happened. So yeah, it's something that happened, but we have to learn that we have to love ourselves more than being popular. And sometimes it means that we have to walk that road alone. To courage, we have to be courageous. We have to be strong. We have to think about the peace of mind that we deserve. And it's important to tell ourselves that if you have been through struggles in your life, you got to say, I am deserving, I am worthy of peace of mind, and I am going to regain my peace. Regain your peace. That's very important. You forgive them, but you can make the choice to have something to do with them or not. Yes, it's a personal choice, Boss Life Online. You don't have to deal with that person anymore if they caused you trauma. It's a personal choice. Forgiveness, forgiveness is like, oh, I was just about to say it, but Boss Life Online said it. Yes, forgiveness is not for them. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness gives you peace. It gives you a healing. It stops you from being angry. It makes you feel at rest. You gain respect for yourself, love, so many different things. So when you choose to forgive them, not that you accept what they did to you, but you forgive them because now your peace of mind is too important. My peace is too important. Your peace is too important. And we have to remember that when we have to let go of what they did. We have to let that go so that we can live a life of fulfillment and peace. Thank you for your comment. Hey, sis, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. This is the channel that I had a collaboration with, and I really appreciate it. She has an awesome channel. Thank you so much for being here. Simple Things. I hope you're doing great, and happy Sunday to you. Yes, blessings to everybody. Okay, let's see. Even if family wants to help, they may not know how to. Yes, and I do think at a certain point that if people in a family, I think that's beautiful if they want to help you, but they don't know how. That's why it's important maybe to reach out to somebody else that actually knows what to do, like a therapist. And I think, especially in cases of trauma, parties that are willing to help the other person who experienced a trauma, I think it's important to have a little bit of therapy sessions together so it will be healing for the person who inflicted the pain, but also for the person who felt like maybe they didn't give the support that maybe you needed. And it will help both of you to heal in different ways. So that's important. I thank God for giving you the courage to do so, Marlene. I thank you. I appreciate you every day. Yes, it's okay to be angry at God and then begin the dialogue. Yes, a lot of times we think maybe that is something that we did, and maybe we were a bad person, but it's called can't think of the word, but it's we're mad at the wrong thing. So instead of being upset with the offender, we put it inside of ourselves because maybe we were told because we were bad. Maybe and it used to be something that happened a long time ago. They used to, especially little girls, say because you're dressed a certain way, maybe because the way you look, maybe because the way you're shaped, that you deserve what happened to you. So it can cause trauma on top of trauma, and we can have lots of anger issues with so many people, and especially God. And I'm so glad that you said that. Yes, Simple Things. God never punished him for being angry, only for acting inappropriately out of the anger. Yeah. And that's why it's important to have this discussion about that inner child, because if you have all of these things, it's like a soda bottle or even a volcano. If you always allow yourself to be angry, it's like pushing all of that down, and you keep pushing it down until one day you just explode and you go absolutely crazy. And then they say, how did that happen? How did this person get so crazy? They used to be this way. You can only hold things in for so long before you've had enough. Yes, it's a process, one day at a time. Recovery does not happen in a day. I am still getting through some things, but this time I have these tools, and I don't care about society. I care about me. Yeah, and we have to understand that part too. It's all about using the right tools. Using the right tools. Things are out there to help us, but I see a lot of times, especially in people who look like us, we think, oh, if you go to therapy, you must be crazy. You must have lost your mind. And it's not true. Everybody has situations that is hard to deal with. So difficult. It even takes some people out. Some people, their heart breaks from it because it's something that happened to a family member of mine. They went through a traumatic experience and they winded up having a heart attack because of that trauma. They could never get over it. And while that happened in my family, I wouldn't want anybody else to go down that road, to carry so much pain in their heart that it kills them. And if we don't put things in the right way, that's what's going to happen to us. It's going to take us out. It's going to make us sick. all that mess they said and did to you are their own issues and thus their responsibility, is one of the messages I tell my inner child. Yes, that's very important, Miss Full Roller. We have to say what it is. It's the individual, it's the offender, and it's not us. And we have to learn that we can't take it personal. You can't take it personal. What happened to you? Even though it is personal because it's you got to put it in the right perspective and let people know, hey, you know what I mean? Hey, it's them. It's not me. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just being myself, and especially as a child. Hey, Kiva. This is Kiva of Come Get This Commentary. She says, yes, pain definitely has transformed me. Yeah, it makes you a completely different person, a completely different person. I thank you so much for coming. Thank you for spending some time with me on your Sunday. It's very much appreciated. Tomorrow, I believe, I'm going to be on Kiva's show. But thank you so much for coming. I hope you have a great Sunday, Kiva. Yes. Kiva says hi to everyone in the chat. Yes. Yeah, it's not your fault. And I think a lot of times, especially in people who look like us, you know, we always want to pretend like things didn't happen to us or say that's how somebody is. When something is wrong, something is wrong. When something is wrong, it's something wrong. And we have to learn to not blame ourselves. It's the person who did the wrong, you know, and I think that's important. Yeah, it's not your fault. And we have to learn to stop blaming ourselves and be angry at the wrong person. And a lot of times we take things out on people who have nothing to do with it. People who are showing us love, you know, you're lashing out from your trauma, from your childhood. And they're like, whoa. Because we know we can take it out on people who actually love us, like in romantic relationships, about trauma and scarring from our childhood. And we have to, that's why it's important to have these discussions and put the pain in the right place, be angry, and then find a way to channel that energy into a right way. You got to channel it in the right way. And if you don't, you're gonna, it can get you into a lot of trouble. Yes, it's her first live with us. So thank you so much for being here. Let's see who else. I didn't have the responsibility equals ability to respond as a child, but as an adult, I do and will take that responsibility in a way that does not hurt anyone else and definitely not myself. I know that's right. I know when I was younger, oh my God, when I was younger, I always used to be the child that was always afraid of everything. I was afraid to hurt people's feelings. I was afraid to speak up. I was afraid to, you know, just not being myself. But the more that you know who you are, the more that you stop listening to foolishness from other people, you start feeling good about yourself, because after a while we have to understand there's only certain people in our lives that actually matter. The rest, we got to learn to filter that out. Who cares about what else somebody else thinks about us? It's about our happiness. It's about our peace of mind. It's about our relationship with God. Everybody else is irrelevant. And yeah, that's just it. Thank you, Boss Life Online. Yes, welcome, Kiva, to the Sunday Talk Show, everybody. Thank you so much. Hey, Snuggles. You in here listening? You got the eyes. You gonna tell us something about from the other day? Who you looking at? Oh, you must be talking to Snuggles. That message, okay? StreamYard holds that. I don't know what you guys are saying. I'm trying to figure out what you humans are talking about. Okay, Snuggles. I don't know. Boss Life Online, you can text me so I can know. I don't know what you're talking about. Snuggles, she's the same lady from my live last Wednesday sharing her traumatic childhood experience. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, Jill. Thank you. I'm babysitting the grands listening. Okay, Kiva. Thank you. Enjoy your time with your grandkids. Very interesting understanding human beings are all complex. It seems like the biggest part of the human brain is their brain because it seems, yes. Okay. Yeah, I think he is. Simple things. You are good enough. In fact, more than good enough, as you have accomplished more than family who put you down in the past is another message that I tell my inner child. Yeah, I think it's important to say things like this, like I used to say all the time, it's one of those things like, how long are you going to be mad? It's nothing wrong with being mad. If you want to be mad, then be mad, but be mad for a purpose. Be mad because of it's important to be mad about something. So, for a while in my childhood, being the 10th child, I used to always be angry and mad at everything and everyone. I got suspended so many times from school. I was always fighting. I was always looking for other people for love, especially in romantic relationships. Because if you don't get it at home, what are you going to do? You're going to seek it outside somebody else when it should be at home. So that's why I want to have this discussion and let anybody who, like me, don't look to other people for love. Find that love first with yourself. Find your love with your higher power, whatever it is that you believe in, and go from there. Don't try to look to other people who don't love you. Don't try to look to people who, to care about you, because that's not what's important. The most important thing is what you think about yourself and what you want to give, what you want to put out there. It's always up to us. And you can be mad as long as you want to be mad. Don't listen to anybody else. If you want to be mad for 5 years, 20 years, if you want to talk about it 15, 20 years, then you talk about it. It's about what is good for you. It's about what is going to make you feel good about yourself. You can be angry if you want to be angry. And it's something that I think, when I was a child, I was always told that it was disrespectful to be angry. I was always told it was disrespectful to talk back. And for so many years, I used to always be under that thumb, that dictatorship of I shouldn't speak up. I shouldn't talk back. Adults were the only person to have thoughts and opinions and feelings. And I don't agree with that 100%. I think children have something important to say. I think it's an important dialogue that you need to have. You need to tell people I have been through this, and it's up to them if they want to accept it. It doesn't change your reality. It doesn't change your personal truth. So either they can accept it or they don't. I always say there's the door. If you don't want to hear it, then you can go. Yeah. Maybe there are boundaries that we don't know are there, and a new relationship accidentally stumbles on some hidden feelings that would be hard to navigate. Yeah, that happens sometimes, Tracy, especially like if in cases of like sexual abuse, things like that. And then you go and look for, you are looking for somebody and you haven't dealt with that. Sometimes you can be looking towards the wrong source because your view of sexuality is based on a trauma. So you got to fix your own self, or you're going to keep going down the road of finding the wrong type of person for you. And if you want to be happy, I always say that all the time. It's nothing wrong with being alone. Sometimes you got to be alone. You got to be angry. You got to be mean. You got to get out what you want to get out. And then now you can move on. I feel like that's so important. That was my husband that innocently brought up a traumatic childhood experience that I had kept buried. Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes that happens. Okay, Snuggles. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next one. The first question that was, how do you work with your inner child? And number two, uh, what do you wish your parents knew about you? So when we talk about the inner child, that part of us, maybe you grew up having poor or no communication with your parents. Maybe they were too strict. If so, what things would you wish you could tell them? It could be that you lie only to protect yourself from your mom or from your abusive dad. And when you go silent, you don't mean to be rude, but whenever you hold back against your parents or superiors, now is the time to bring it forth and deal with it. So that's an important question. This is a question you can ask your inner child. What do you wish, you could have told yourself, as a child that you could deal with? I wish when I was younger, I could tell myself that it will always be this way. One day you're going to have peace of mind. One day you're going to be able to speak up and voice your thoughts and opinions. Because myself as a child, I was from the generation where it was always you were seen, but you were not heard. Kids were not allowed to speak up. You were not allowed to tell when you didn't like something, when you didn't agree, much less if something happened to you, then it must have been your fault because you were being too fast or something like that. So, and that's not healthy. So it gives children an unreasonable expectation. And and gave me trauma for so many years because of that, because I never used to speak a lot because I never thought anybody was going to listen to me. So number two, what gets you excited and happy every morning? You got to have something that you're excited about. You got to have something that wakes you up in the morning, something that gives you joy. And you got to ask your inner child, what drives you? What makes you feel happy? Here's I think I got two more questions that you could ask your inner child. If you were to rewrite your life story, how would it read? Who would you want to be? And when I think about that, if I could rewrite my life story, being honest with you guys, I personally think I would have rather been like in the adoption system or something like that, because I think I would probably had a better story. Sometimes the people that are related to us by blood, it's not good for us. It's a lot of pain, it's a lot of scarring, but I don't take that lightly, because of it I had to learn to be stronger. I had to learn to be better. I had to learn, and I had no choice, because you know how it is in this world. Either you fight or you die. You know, you got to learn to ride or die, or that's it. This has always been one of my biggest drawbacks in Caribbean families. Yeah, being it from a Caribbean family, I know you understand two simple things. Caribbean families is like they want to break you. Like it's always like a perfect standard. Even though the parents aren't perfect, they expect perfect children, perfect grades. You have to be, and if you're the darker skinned child, that's a whole nother topic. The darker skinned child gets less love, and the lighter skinned child is smarter, looks better, does everything better than the darker skinned child. So it causes so much trauma. It causes so much trauma, simple things. I wrote it all down. One, everything I wanted to say to my parents. Two, everything I wanted to say to my inner child. That was freeing. I cried all the way through, but freeing. Yeah. You got to have those two things. Everything I wanted to say to my parents and everything I wanted to say to my inner child. And I'm telling you guys, when I did that, it made me a different person. If I probably did that a long time ago, I would have not got into relationships that I got into. But I think everything that you go through in your life makes you to be a better person because of it. Because I chose so much wrong, Now I know who I am, and it also causes me to not be nasty and bitter. I don't have to be nasty anymore because I got rid of the nasty thoughts about what happens to me. And now I can be what they say, don't be bitter, be better. Now I'm better. Yeah, it's so true. Well, really, no way for that. No way for that to happen, making a difference between kids. Yeah, it happens. It happens all the time. Especially one child is darker skinned, one child is lighter skinned, and the darker skinned child, of course, you're told you're uglier. You're told that nobody will ever like you. You know, you always have to get the worst job. Lighter skinned children can get more education. And it's awful. I'm sure that maybe it happens in other communities for people who look like us, but it happens a lot in Caribbean families. To rewrite my life story for it to be safe and accepted for being myself by the family or foreign, and to be able to trust family and those that say they love you. That's important. Yeah, listen, Tracy, it's very traumatic. It's very, very traumatic. And there's some, honestly, in my family right now, I still can't talk to. I don't speak with them. Some people in my family I have blocked. I don't want anything to do with them because it didn't happen to them, so they don't believe it happened to me. And it happens all the time. Certain parents, they target certain children because maybe they see something in that child. They maybe hate the child because of certain things. And yeah, and it's not good. So that's what I wanted to have a discussion and talk to you guys about, the conversations that you have with your inner child. And I think it's so important to have these conversations, and just so that you know you can stop being being mad at the wrong person, because for so many years I was mad at myself instead of being mad at who did whatever they did to me. And we do have to learn that. Don't be mad at yourself. Be mad at the offender. Give yourself peace. Give yourself love. Hey James. Hey Miss Kim. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I think that's important. So don't be mad. Don't be mad at yourself. Don't beat yourself down. Uplift yourself and encourage yourself. And that's not something that happens usually in people who look like us. You know, we're not really fed that we can do anything that we want. We're not fed that we can be a positive role model, that we can have prosperity in our life. That's not this sort of thing that happens, conversation that we have, that we can be somebody and we are somebody, and who we are is good enough. But it's something that I want to portray to you guys. I want to give you guys that sort of thinking so you can be on that wavelength. And whoever doesn't accept and receive you, that's their problem. Leave them behind and move forward, because better is meant for you. It doesn't matter what anybody else wants. It's about what you want, what you want to do with your life. It's about you having peace of mind for yourself and you moving forward to what God has for you. I thank you, everybody, for coming. And I appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys for sharing parts of you. It helps me every single day, because I'm telling you guys, some days when it comes to that inner child, some days you're doing okay. And then some days, like, little things may trigger, like the smell of my mom's perfume or my dad's cologne or certain things. So yeah, I think it can cause you trauma. Just little things can trigger you, but don't allow what happened to you in your past to make it be your present. It's a continuous process, to love yourself, to keep moving forward in your life. And don't let anybody tell you that you don't deserve better. Don't let anybody tell you you don't deserve better, because you do. You deserve everything that you want, and whatever it is that you want to do, you can do. And not only because you deserve it, but because you're capable, you're able, and you're deserving of everything in abundance and overflow. And don't let anybody tell you any differently. Don't let nobody tell you any differently. You are somebody. You are capable and you are loved, not only by God, but you got to love yourself. That's an important quality. It's so important for you to love yourself. Don't look to a man. Don't look to a job. Don't look to finances. Don't look to anybody to define what you should be thinking about yourself. Okay? Don't let anything define you but you. Don't look to society. Don't compare yourself to other people. You just keep being yourself, and that's always good enough. I thank you guys for coming to the live stream today. I appreciate you guys, and keep your head up. No matter what it is that you have gone through, you can heal. You can live a satisfying life, and you can be what you want to be, not determined by what other people and society wants you to do and be. Everybody has a story. Everybody has been through something in their life, but I just encourage you to just keep being yourself and be a better version of yourself every single day. I thank you, everybody, for coming today. Keep your head up, keep encouraged. And like I always say here on this channel, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life. I thank you guys so much for coming, and I will see you guys on the next video, live stream, or collaboration. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great Sunday, and keep your head up. That's the most important thing. Keep your head up, guys. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, guys.